Hi Pisces, this is your reading for the week of April 20th, or when you hear it and it resonates, and of course it will not be for every Pisces. So here we go. I always ask Spirit for what is the energy that is going to be most beneficial for the people listening to this, for the collective of Pisces, and this is what I got. The first thing that dropped in was actually a feeling of sitting on the edge of my chair, just kind of like feeling like I wanted to go somewhere, like the energy was building, but I wasn't sure where I was supposed to go. So because I wasn't sure where I was supposed to go, it was feeling like it was just an agitation that was building up. What you're being told, Pisces, is there is something that is changing within you, and that you're not entirely sure cognitively what that means. You may be aware that it's changing, or you may just suddenly notice that things that you used to do before that you liked to do, now it's kind of like, oh, I don't feel like it really. I'm not going to do it because I don't really feel like it. But where there's a very different energy between I don't really feel like it and I don't feel like it because there's something else I want to do. So you're being asked to take that attitude, even if you don't know what that something else is yet. Allow yourself to start dreaming, because there are changes that are happening within you. You don't know what they are necessarily, but you feel something. You're feeling a change happening for you. You're being asked at this point in time to do your best to mitigate the anxiety that might be building up as part of this change, is to do your best to not judge yourself for it, or not judge it and name it as anxiety, and to maintain a calm focus. So when your mind gets all scattered out there, allow it to come back in, because you may be thinking naturally, because you're Pisces, you're very creative, you'll pull in all sorts of information. You might be deliberately pulling in this, well, maybe it's that, well, maybe it's that, well, maybe it's that. But each time it's not one of those things that can create more agitation for you. So you're being asked, let things flow by you. Let things look at let things flow in a way where you can look at them without going into judgment and a harsh criticism about not knowing where you need to be. Because sometimes that can get you. That idea of, I should be somewhere different, but I'm not quite sure where yet. Now, again, this is an aspect of faith that you're getting here. This is whether we define these aspects of self-awareness as an aspect of our spiritual faith growing and expanding. It really is. Because even if it is just the self-awareness about an emotional pattern or a behavior, what it does every time we define it now is we have a new relationship to that emotion. So whatever the emotion is, pardon me, whatever the not just the emotion, but whatever the concept is that we're dealing with in terms of our behaviors, our beliefs, every time we become aware of becoming aware of it, something profoundly shifts, because it creates even more of an intentional, deliberate link between our levels of consciousness. And ideally, what we would like is for the higher conscious mind to be so fully integrated into the personality structure that now our ego doesn't just become an experience of learning in the world and bringing it back for subconscious processing, but that it becomes more of an integrated process. And what's the advantage to that? Well, the advantage to that is we learn how to regulate our emotions as we become aware of these aspects of our personality and start developing new relationships with them, as opposed to trying to pretend they're not there or ignore them. What we become now is we become genuinely the author of our experience, because we know how to intervene. We know how to change the story. We know how to become our own hero. We know how to change the characters in there. Without the awareness of how we're functioning, how do we regulate our emotions? And without emotional regulation, how can we move out of being reactive to old triggers? How can we choose new behaviors? if we're not conscious of what the old ones were. So, Pisces, I feel this is incredibly, incredibly powerful for you. This is a time where you might be noticing it in terms of your different energetic creations. Oh, no, stop it. That was me. That you may be more aware of changes in your creative process. You may not be aware of necessarily the energy behind it, but by maintaining a calm focus, by having no opinion, what you can see is you can see things coming up. And they're reminding me again of that statement that I had that I stumbled over earlier. And it was the difference between saying something, oh, I'm not going to do that. Oh, I just don't feel like it. As opposed to, oh, I'm not going to do that. I don't feel like that because I feel more like I'd like to do that. So again, it's not putting this down or going, eh. It's okay. And now what? Where am I going to dream beyond this? Okay? Not that this was bad. It's fine. But just because it may have lost its zing doesn't mean that's all there is. There's more. Dream and understand that this is an experience of faith, my loves. However you want to define it. Okay? I'm going to leave you with that, my dears, and wish you well. And I will see you again, I imagine. Take care.